These are the Luma Pro glasses by VITURE. I've been using these extensively since I've gotten them, sometimes for hours per day. In this video, I'd like to share with you some of my experiences using these glasses and why these are always going to be with me from now on. These are now completely part of my technology kit. I will not go anywhere without these glasses because they are that useful, they're that powerful. I'm going to start by talking about what they are, what these glasses are designed for, how they fit in the world of technology. Then I'm going to go through the physical features of the glasses. There's some really cool features that VITURE has put into these glasses, obviously listening to feedback from previous glasses that they've created. And then I'm going to go through and talk about my use case scenarios and how I get a lot of practical use out of using these glasses. Near the end of the video, I'm also going to be talking about a couple of cool things that are happening, that I see happening, as well as why I'm keeping both pairs of my VITURE glasses and a bunch of other stuff. But anyways, I'll put a table of contents down below so that you can navigate around if you'd like. You may have seen a previous review that I did on the VITURE XR Pro glasses. I'm going to be keeping these glasses for two reasons, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. But after I did that review, VITURE reached out to me. They were kind enough to send me the Luma Pros to review prior to them being available to the general public, and they sent a neckband and a mobile dock and some adapters as well as a cool pin. But they have no editorial control over what I'm going to say, but I also don't think they took a big risk because I'm going to say nice things. They have a good product here. So a lot of the things that I'm going to say about the Luma Pros are going to be positive because I actually am having a very positive experience with them. Like I say, I'm using them sometimes for hours per day. I just wanted to share that with you for the sake of transparency and so that you understand how I was able to get a pair of the Luma Pros before they were released to the public. Now, any company is welcome to send me technology that I can review here on the channel, but they will never have editorial control. And if you'd like to help support the channel so that I can buy technology without involving technology companies, you could buy a membership or you can use the super thanks, and then I can use that money to buy out and test other products. So let's take a look at the Luma Pro glasses. The first question you might have when you see a pair of glasses like the Luma Pro is, what exactly are these used for? Where do they fit in the world of technology? And we can sometimes understand that a little bit better by understanding what they are not. They are not virtual reality glasses. For virtual reality, you need an entire goggle set that can completely immerse you in a big 360 environment. These are great, but you're not going to wear this in public, and you're generally not going to carry this around with you because it is a little bit heavy. But this is virtual reality and a completely immersive environment. And the Luma glasses are not smart glasses. These are glasses by Ray-Ban, the Ray-Ban Metas. These are designed to be worn wherever you go. You can get prescription lenses, you can get transition lenses, and these are limited. They do have a camera so you can take photos and video, and they do have nice audio so that you can listen to music, and they can interact with artificial intelligence through a Bluetooth connection with your phone. But they're limited in what they can do. There's no screen or heads-up display. And then we have the VITURE Luma Pros. They take that immersiveness of a VR headset and they allow me to have that for playing games or consuming media or being productive with multiple screens. But they do so in a form factor like a pair of eyeglasses or smart glasses that I can take around with me and actually use. The challenge that I have with a VR headset is it's great, but I don't carry it with me. And the challenge that I have with a pair of smart glasses is I don't have the immersion features. So this is that sweet spot between the two. Now, I tend to use these Luma Pros more than both my VR headset and my smart glasses. They're that good, they're that useful, and I'm finding I'm reaching for these all the time whenever I want to be productive or have fun. Let's take a look at the physical characteristics of the glasses. When we unbox the Luma Pro XR glasses, we'll receive them in this box here and just take off the tabs here. Unlike the previous XR Pro glasses, they don't have the clamshell unboxing, but it is a beautiful box. We have the instructions on the top here, and we'll be able to see how to get started. And I'll just move it from this side. There's another tab on the other side. Comes in this beautiful carrying case, so we'll be able to protect our glasses as we move them around. We'll take that off there, so we just have the VITURE logo on here. And then when we open it up, the glasses themselves are semi-translucent. So you can see here the arms and such, you can see some of the inner workings and such. So there's a lighting effect that we can put on here as well. We'll have a look at those in detail in a second. And of course we have our magnetic clasp cable. So we'll just take off the paper part here, there we go. And we'll be able to take our magnetic clasp cable, USB-C on one end and the custom VITURE magnetic clasp on the other. There is a little box with some additional components that I can use to customize my glasses to make sure they fit my face perfectly. The first thing is the nose bridge. What's very cool with the Luma Pros is that I have a magnetic nose bridge adapter with some additional adapters that come in. Just put silver to silver, metal to metal. It's a magnet, so I can adjust it specifically for how my nose rests on the glasses or how the glasses rests on my nose and get an incredibly custom fit for the bridge of my nose to the glasses. But I can also adjust for my eyesight. I have these two dials so I can do each eye separately to get absolute clear vision. And here's one of my favorite features. I can actually adjust the temple mount. So I have 3 different positions that will allow me to adjust the glasses to fit on my ears perfectly. So if you have one ear that's not quite the same as another ear in terms of where it sits on your head, you can adjust to make sure that you get a nice straight and nice clear screen adjustment with these glasses. That's a very, very useful feature, and I found that with these glasses I'm able to get a custom fit that is perfect. I can wear them comfortably for very, very long periods at a time. Taking a look at the arms of the glasses, I have some buttons. On the left-hand side, I have a single button plus a rocker button, an up-down volume, up-down contrast button. We'll look at the functions in a moment. On the right-hand side, I have a single button that I can also press and double press. We'll look at what they do in a moment. And I have a camera. So there's a camera on the front of the glasses. This will be covered in the production models. And then I actually have a clear view into the inner workings of the glasses themselves. And we can actually have some lights on here. And the Harman speakers will give me excellent sound through these little speaker slots over each ear. It's high quality sound. I'm very impressed. A single tap of the right short button will toggle the electrochromatic film on and off. And I have found that this worked really well even outdoors in bright conditions. So right now with the electro shade on, I have a very immersive environment. I do see some of my peripheral vision, the room around me, and if I look down I can see things like my cat, which I think is really cool and important. Of course, if I want a little bit more visibility, I can take the shading off. Now I can see the room beyond me, except it still is fairly obstructed by the icons and such, but it's enough that I can see what's going on around me. Let's say if I was traveling on a plane or if I was on a bus or transit, this gives me a little bit more awareness of what's around me. This goes into a much more immersive mode where I cannot see what's directly in front of me, but I can still see below me, for example, a keyboard and of course my cat. One thing that I was not able to get to work on my particular pair of the Luma Pros was when I double click. When I double click, it is saying on the screen that I have a light strip effect going on, but you can see that I do not have the light strip effect. So it could be that I need to update the firmware. I'm going to check into that. Or it could be that the version that I have, just because they were given to me before the production runs, it could be that they're just not working on my particular set of glasses. Now, the camera that's built into the glasses is extremely important because it will allow me to set the screen into a fixed position. Normally when I move the screen around, I have something called smooth follow. The screen follows me as I move around. But I can turn that off and the glasses will remember the position of my screen. This is great if I'm doing things like productivity apps where I want to put the screen into a fixed position in space and I want to be able to look around and return to the screen. So the screen can either follow me as I move around or I can put it into a fixed position and come back to it as I need. So the ability to put your screen on a wall and keep it on that wall, even though you move your glasses around, will require you to have the camera uncovered. So you'll just take the sticker off and then you'll be able to have the feature of putting the smooth follow on where the screen will follow you as you move around, or fixing your screen in space so you have to come back to it. I really like fixing my screen in space when I plug the glasses directly into a computer, because then I can have screens that are sort of static, if you would. They're in one place and then I can work and I can just look at the screens as I need them, as opposed to screens that sort of follow along with me. It's a personal preference, and depending on whether I'm using the neckband or whether I'm plugged directly into a computer, I may choose one or the other. So we've had the opportunity to look at the physical characteristics of these glasses, from great audio to comfort adjustment and the nose pads, eye adjustment, and the use of a camera, which is only going to unlock more potential in the future and allows us to do some pretty cool things now. But what's the experience like when we actually use these glasses? Explaining or demonstrating what it's like to be in an immersive environment can be a bit of a challenge. It's almost something that you need to experience for yourself. Now, I'm going to say it's an amazing experience. I use these with my computers, Mac computers and Windows computers. I use it with my iPad Pro as a second display. I use these with an iPhone. I use these with my neckband. There are different ways that I can use these, different environments or tools that I can use, and they all offer something. And when it comes to tech specs, that becomes a little bit of a challenge. These use Sony OLED displays, and it creates the perception of a screen that's 152 inches. I don't know how you would measure exactly 152 inches, and you can't really say it is 152 inches. It just looks like 152 inches because you've got those screens that are close to your eye and projecting into your eye. Same goes with things like resolution. When it comes to the resolution of the image, it doesn't tech spec out to 4K, but it looks like 4K. It's bright, it's easy to see. In fact, I actually use these to read books, and I have another video where I talk about how I challenged myself to read an entire book just using the VITURE glasses, and it was a great experience. It's crystal clear, it's highly immersive. You can use it for a multi-screen setup, and you can use it for running applications directly. I especially like it with the neckband. Now with the neckband, you can use your phone to control the neckband, but what I actually did is I took a foldable Bluetooth keyboard and I connected that, so I can literally just use this keyboard with the glasses on. So I can just put the glasses on and I can sit and I can work with nobody seeing that I have a giant 152-inch screen in front of me, and I can do things like play games. Do productivity apps. In the box that VITURE sent me, they sent me this cool little pin that says, "The future of gaming is here." But you know what I'd like them to do is make more pins. I'd like them to make a pin that says, "The future of productivity is here," and a pin that says, "The future of education is here." Because with the neckband, a foldable Bluetooth keyboard with a mouse, and these glasses, I have an environment where I can study anywhere, I can be productive anywhere, and I have a giant screen, as well as the fact that this contains Android, so I can use Android apps, anatomy apps, all the different Android apps that are out there. I can work on research papers without people seeing what's on my screen, no matter where I am. But let's talk about gaming, because when it comes to gaming, these are next level. They're very, very good. When it comes to gaming, a key component is the VITURE Pro mobile dock. This will allow me to connect up a Switch and even a Switch 2. VITURE is the first solution that allows support for the Switch 2. I have an HDMI input, so I can bring a Steam Deck in here, I can bring a PS5, I can bring any console, and I can bring all of my handheld systems into this mobile dock. This mobile dock then allows me to connect 2 pairs of VITURE glasses so I can do co-op mode playing, I could even have 1 pair of glasses and have one of these go out to a USB-C monitor. So I could have a monitor showing what I'm playing, as well as the glasses immersing me in what I'm playing. It's also a battery, so it provides power so that I'm able to extend my gaming sessions. Now, one of the things that I had to do was I had to do a firmware upgrade when I first got this. So I did the firmware upgrade, and then it recognized my Switch and my glasses and such. At first I plugged everything in and I was like, oh no, it's not working. But then I realized if I did the firmware upgrade, it would all work. Let's take a look at how I set this up. So here I have the Dock Pro. I have a VITURE cable plugged into my Switch. So it comes with a little cable. And then I have a cable plugged into my glasses. So I'll be able to have the immersive experience of connecting up to my Switch. You can actually see it in the mirror there. And then I have another USB-C cable, which is actually going out to a monitor. So I can actually see all of my Switch software on the monitor. So I have an immersive environment in the glasses, and I have the monitor so I can see everything that I'm doing here with the Switch. That's pretty cool. Earlier I mentioned that I was keeping to both my pairs of glasses. This is why I can now have dual gaming sessions. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. There's another reason why I'm keeping the old pair as well. More on that a little later. Now, for everything I've talked about in this video about these glasses, I really feel like I'm just scratching the surface. There's so much more to be said about them. They're brighter than the previous version. They have more adjustments than the previous version. They're more comfortable. They have the camera. There's all sorts of things for now and in the future that we'll be able to do with the Luma Pros that I'm really excited about. And I'll be making some more videos about the Luma Pros, especially in how I could use them in education. And I have a challenge that I did with the Luma Pros around reading. So I'm going to create a video on the reading challenge that I did with these Luma Pros and the results that I had. There's still a few surprises and cool things that we can do with these glasses that I haven't had the opportunity to share in this video, but I will shortly in some subsequent videos. For example, you can connect these into a newer iPhone and have a 2D to 3D experience. I still have a little bit of an older iPhone. That's why I'm going to be keeping my other pair of VITURE glasses so I can use it with the lightning adapter. But I will be getting a new iPhone and connecting these up to that new iPhone. I'll share that experience with you. Plus, VITURE is a company that continues to innovate. There's a very interesting pair of glasses coming out called the Luma Ultras, which are designed more for enterprise. And there's another pair coming out later this year called the Beast. Those are two great pairs of glasses that hopefully I'll have a chance to review as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and comment down below. Let me know what you'd like me to show you on these glasses. As I learn more, I'm happy to share it with you. And if there's anything specific you're interested in knowing about, I'm happy to answer that question as well. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.